No more being tired all the time, you guys. I want you guys to have tons of energy so you can live your best lives. Of all the things I know, I would definitely say I am an expert in fatigue. This is definitely not a certification that you can get from a university. Even I personally struggled with fatigue for so many years and then overcame this fatigue and helped thousands of patients overcome this fatigue as well. So hang out with me for less than 10 minutes and I'm going to show you how to get your energy back. I was doing all the wrong things, just like you guys are probably doing right now. I was overloading the caffeine, sleeping too long, eating more, but there was something deeper going on. Fatigue is a symptom of something bigger. So one of the first reasons you can be tired is because of adrenal fatigue. So this means that you have too much cortisol. The interesting thing about cortisol is that it's a stress hormone that adapts your body to stress. Under stress, your body switches to running on glucose. So despite what your diet is, if you have too much stress, your body is going to basically run on glucose. The glucose is supposed to give you energy, but what it actually does is it ends up making you tired because it's going to mobilize a lot of glucose that is stored in your liver, and it's also going to make glucose out of protein and fat. This is called gluconeogenesis. So here you're having all this glucose flowing through your bloodstream, and then your blood sugar is going to increase, and then insulin is going to come in there and push everything down. So when you go through chronic stress, that's where things really start to go downhill. And all that glucose is going to make you exhausted. So the more stress you have, the more your body runs on sugar. Now, there's a little gland in the brain called the amygdala, and this little guy works on your brain and it addresses certain stresses, specifically fear-based stress. So the amygdala has everything to do with different fears, whether it be something small like being shy or something on a more extreme level like a panic attack. And right in the middle, you can also have things like anxiety or worry. All of these are states of fear. Anytime you're in a fear state, it's the amygdala that is involved, and this is going to affect a lot of different biological processes like your sleep or your ability to get into a calm state. The best remedies for adrenal stress or an overactive amygdala is vitamin B1 in the form of nutritional yeast. This is going to help you stay very calm. You can also take something called ashwagandha. This is an incredible supplement and I recommend it to so many of my patients. This is actually going to increase your tolerance to stress. I also can't emphasize the importance of getting enough sleep. So there's something I always say. A good workout and a good night's sleep make all of our problems shrink to their appropriate size. A good night's sleep will help you have better control over your stress and better adrenal function. And then I'm also going to recommend some physical activity. Literally any kind of activity where you're using your body is great for stress. Exercise is great. Physical work is even better because physical work helps you to sleep better and this will decrease that stress. Moving on to number 2. So another reason why you guys don't have energy is because of poor sleeps. So poor sleep is going to make you tired. And a lot of the time, we're not sleeping well because of the high amounts of cortisol in our bodies because of the stress. Especially if you find yourself awake between 12 midnight and 2 in the morning. This is when those stress hormones are supposed to be the lowest. But if your adrenals are overactive, then this is when you're going to be the most awake. I had a problem with this past year. I was so stressed, so much anxiety. I was getting over a breakup. There was so much change happening in my life. I could not sleep. And this was only going to continue until I figured things out. Now let's talk about the sleep hormone called melatonin. So I want to do a whole separate video for you guys on melatonin because there's actually 2 types of melatonin. There's one that's in your blood, and then there's another one that's stored in your cells. This is called the subcellular melatonin, and the way you increase this is through infrared light. 50% of the sun rays are infrared, so this is actually increasing the amount of melatonin in your body cells, which is going to greatly help your sleep. So if you can get out in the sun, definitely do so. But if it's winter and you're Canadian like me and you can't do that, know that you can also get this infrared from a campfire or some candles, or even red light therapy. And this is so important for you guys to understand. Blue light, which is a light from our phones or our computers, counters this red light. So this is also why some of you guys are having sleeping problems. You guys are sitting in front of a computer all day long and then you're scrolling at night. Your melatonin will never be able to replenish if you're constantly doing this, and this leads to sleep problems. Okay, so next let's talk about PostViral Syndrome. So let's just say you had COVID or some kind of a flu and now you have this residual chronic fatigue, right? So you just had this massive inflammatory response in your body, and this creates this massive free radical damage. So you're going into this infection with an already low amount of B vitamins, and so the residual fatigue you experience is really a B vitamin deficiency, primarily vitamin B1. And so if you just had an infection and you start taking nutritional yeast and you also start taking things like vitamin D3 and zinc, you would start to have way more energy. But you guys, if you're sick, you also have to be figuring out the source of your stress and reducing it as soon as possible. This is only going to make any kind of an infection worse, and you'll have no chance at kicking that fatigue in the butt. Another cause of fatigue is Lyme disease. So this comes from a type of bacteria that can go into your body and it causes a reaction. So all the symptoms from Lyme are actually coming from your own immune system that's trying to find this microbe and kill it, but it can't find it. So for this, I actually recommend oregano, garlic, thyme, sage, things that are natural that boost the immune system, but don't add stress on your system. Another cause of fatigue is insulin resistance. So if you're on that high carb diet, I need you guys to understand that your brain is going to be slightly more unconscious because that's what carbs do. They make our brain go to sleep. That's why you guys need naps after you eat. When you go on a low carb diet, this actually wakes up your brain. Ask your friends on keto how they feel. I personally feel like I have so much clarity and concentration instead of being a squirrel and getting distracted by every little thing. If you guys aren't already on a ketogenic diet with intermittent fasting, I'm not really sure what you're waiting for, but this can have the biggest effect on our energy. If you guys are new to the concept of intermittent fasting, I'm going to have a video I created about this pop up at the end for you guys to watch. So another reason you guys might be tired is because of low stomach acid. So this actually happens as we get older and we lose our stomach acid, and now we're losing our ability to absorb B12. So this can actually lead to anemia. Now you're not going to be able to break down proteins. So this is going to cause more fatigue. You're also making yourself way more susceptible to getting SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth. This can make you tired too, not to mention all the digestive issues that you're gonna have. Simplest remedy I have for you guys is the combination of two things: apple cider vinegar and betaine hydrochloride. You need to be taking a lot of this, okay, you guys? So especially at the beginning, I'm talking like 6, 7, 8 tablets right before you eat for weeks. Okay, that's all I have for you guys. I know that's going to help so many of you guys with that fatigue. Share this with someone who might be struggling with fatigue. If you guys found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel so we can keep making small steps towards a healthier lifestyle. And of course, thank you guys so much for watching.